got ideas so big, you're scared of the success they may bring. But in your heart, you know you're on to something amazing. Then there's days you feel like you're in over your head. But don't feed your fears, water your dreams instead. 'Cause you're not that far from where you wanna be. It just takes some time and patience when you're building something. Building something, you know I'm building something, you know I'm building something. Gotta keep striving, gotta keep pressing. I'm building something, you know I'm building something, you know I'm building something. Building something. I know some days seem easier than others, and I know some.
Come on in, come on in, come on in. It is Couch Conversations with Sherri Harris Allgood. We are here tonight to converse and just to talk, y'all. We do have a spotlight for tonight as well that we're going to be sharing. And just to get the word out about some amazing businesses, small businesses that are out there. And the whole purpose of the couch conversation is just so we can, we can just get close and personal and discuss some things that may be on our heart. So if you have something that you want to share, if you want to be on and have a conversation, then please don't hesitate to reach out to me, because we're just talking, y'all. We just talking. So I'm going to start out with our business spotlight for tonight. The one that we were featuring right now is actually not on at the present moment, but we're going to highlight her anyway, because she's doing a phenomenal job over there in Moore County is where she is. And so I want to be able just to push the great work that she is doing. I don't want to date myself, but I actually taught this young lady in the 8th grade years ago, y'all, years ago, back in, I think it was like 2002, 2003. I had the pleasure of teaching her in the 8th grade. And then actually I was, we used to do a step team, right? It was called the Youth Against Drugs Step Team out in Bisco. My brother, Therese Harris, he started the step team, and this young lady actually joined the step team as well. So we traveled, we would go around and compete for trophies and so forth. And she was a part of this, right, of the step team as well. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull this up real quick so that we can see who and what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Latoya Lofton. I am the CEO and founder of Create Inspired Designs, formerly known as CID, where I partner up with my wonderful husband, Thomas Lofton, where we work behind the scenes bringing your parties to life. We are event designers. We make custom items, whether it's a cup, chip, bag, sweet table, you name it, we're going to try to pull it through. We're going to do our best to bring your vision to life. Not only do we do event designs, we also do apparel, whether it's t-shirts, sweatshirts, anything that I can press on with your business logo, or if it's for any party, we definitely try our best to push through whatever you bring to the table. Not only do we do that, I started off as a crafter. I love crafting. It's been in my heart ever since I was a little girl. I started off doing paper flowers. Yes, I love paper flowers. I still make them to this day. You can hang them in your home. You can do so many stuff. We make keychains, bottles, personalized gifts, whether it's for the holidays, especially Christmas. We get a lot of orders through Christmas, but we are still pushing through. It's been hard for us lately. I'm not even going to say hard. It's been a ride. We lost our house last year, but to God be the glory, we are back at it. It did not stop anything. I wanted to stop, but my husband kept pushing me to continue to follow up with my dreams, which was definitely an event designer, craft at heart. We appreciate the love and the support that we get from all our local clients. And I hope one day or any day that any of you may be looking at this video may need an event designer. Thank you for your time.
All right, y'all. So as you see, this was LaTanya Laughlin. Once again, she is located out in the Moore County area where she is the CEO and the founder of an event business, right? So you can reach out to her over there. I do want to highlight her page on Facebook. Is called Create Inspire Designs. Create Inspire Designs. And so that is somewhere you can, go over there, like her page, if you will, see the awesome work that she's doing over in Moore County and surrounding counties as well, and support her, y'all. This is what it's all about. It's about supporting one another and making sure that we want to give other people the opportunities that we want other people to give us. All right. We were talking about it in Bible study last night about doing, like, we got to do for others what we want others to do for us. Okay. So, I remember whenever, as me and my husband, we got married, we were in our 20s, our early 20s. And at the time, I did have a baby at the time whenever we got married. And then we ended up having a total of 4 in all, right? So I remember, like, those were some difficult times. Those were some difficult times in our life. And I just remember how I was like, you know what, it would just be amazing if if someone could be there to walk us through the process of what we were going through, and not to say that we didn't have, that our family wasn't inspirational or that they weren't there to support. But y'all, when you young, you think you know everything. Maybe that ain't y'all. Maybe that was just me. And so, being young and just wanting to do stuff on your own and wanting to just, I want to be that person, independent and so forth. And but I know that there's a lot that I should have listened to, and I should have been more involved in gaining more information. And so I think about, okay, what is it today that I can give others that I wish that I had whenever I was younger, right? So, like, I want to be for somebody else who I needed somebody to be for me. Okay. And so, and so that's even with promoting businesses and promoting and mentoring and allowing, giving people that opportunity to have the support that they need. It's important, right? Because we want to make sure that, once again, although you may not have had it, we can't have that mentality of, well, I did it, so why can't they? Well, sometimes people just need that extra boost and they need that extra support. And that's what we have to do in order to help and promote other people. So that's what we're here for. Now, since I don't have the young lady on, I do want to tap into something. Okay. I do want to tap into something that that I was made aware of earlier today, and it related to how is it that what are we teaching our children? Okay, what are we teaching our children? What are we actually teaching them? And I'm not talking about just educational in the school systems, but even in our homes, in our communities, like what exactly are we teaching them? What type of people are we growing or maturing for the next generation to come, right? Because that's our responsibility. It's our responsibility because what we're teaching our children now, what we're teaching our young people now, like they're going to grow up and they're going to be living out what we are depositing into them. So it's like, what are we depositing into our young people? Or are we creating a generation who is stuck in the past? One thing about Montgomery County, we was talking to an economic development, the economic development lady, Savannah, the other day. And as we were talking to her, we was just talking about how it is interesting and amazing how even here in Montgomery County, how we are so behind. Y'all hear me? Like we are so behind. And because we are so behind, we don't know what we're supposed to be fighting for, right? Like we don't know what we're supposed to be fighting for, because it's hard to fight for something that you don't know that you're supposed to have. Okay. So while we're up here fighting each other and we have these issues with one another, we don't have adequate broadband. We don't have adequate infrastructure as it relates to our water system. Whenever it's time for people to come in and they're looking for a place to house their businesses, or they're looking at us like y'all don't have what we need. And so it's like, okay, what makes us different from other towns that are prospering and that are growing? And honestly, y'all, it is the information that we have, and what information are we passing on to the next generation? Okay, what are we actually teaching our children? I've heard it so many times of just get away. Like you need to grow up and you need to get away from here. Don't leave Montgomery County. Don't come back because ain't nothing here. Now listen, I got a problem with that. I don't tell my children to leave because there's nothing here in Montgomery County. Because if they're here in Montgomery County, that means something is here, right? But what I do is I push them to go after, what it is that's in their heart to do. Now, if that's tied to Montgomery County, there's no reason why I would tell them to go somewhere else, when the same opportunities they can find somewhere else, they can create those same opportunities here. Okay, whatever you don't see, you have that power to create. Okay, y'all, listen, we were created in God's image, in his likeness, and he created us, so he made us as creators. So whatever it is that we're lacking, guess what? We have the ability and we have that authority through God's ability for us to be able to make that manifest. But if we have this mindset that get out of Montgomery County because those who are here are going to hinder you, or get out of wherever it is that you live, that they're going to hinder you, or they're going to stop you, or they're going to block you, or there's no opportunities, or there's nothing. Listen, we got to create our own opportunities, right? Like who we waiting on to create it for us? We're waiting for somebody to give us permission to succeed? Like, are we waiting for somebody to give us permission to open up a business? Like, I mean, and even if people don't agree, like, who are they? Okay, y'all, I'm gonna be good tonight. I ain't gonna be good. Who are they? Like, to tell us what we can and cannot do just because they got, a little bit of change. Listen, they put on their pants one leg at a time, just like you do, right? Just because they got a little extra money does not make them more than you are, or less, or you to be less than they are. So what we got to do is we got to teach this mentality that we have the ability to go after it. Okay, like we got to tell our children it's not about sports, right? Sports are good, good. People go to NBA, they go to NFL, They go wherever. But at the end of the day, we gotta teach that, listen, you're able to pretty much do whatever you put your mind to do. And nobody can stop you from doing it but you. All right, we're conversing, y'all. We're talking. But because the opportunities that we don't see, we have to create it for others. I remember we had during years ago, we had our church was full of young single mothers, women, right? And we said, well, you know what, we're gonna go out and we're just gonna find a place that we can just go and we can enjoy each other. And let's go to because everybody was saved, you know, we weren't looking for no bar or no club or anything. It was like, we just want to go to where, you know, people can, it's just clean, nice, fun, and we can eat and we can listen to, you know, some people performing, or we can listen to some spoken word, or we can just, you know, just find a place that's happening. So we went up to Greensboro, we went up to Raleigh, we went to, I think it was Winston-Salem. All of us got together and just went because we were trying to find this place. Like, we got to find it. So we went one place, like, that's not what we're looking for. Went to another place over in Raleigh. Nah, that ain't what we were looking for either. Went, I think it was Winston-Salem. Nah, that's not what we were looking for. So you know what? One of the young ladies, and her name is Carrie Ingram, as a matter of fact, y'all might know her. But what she did was she said, listen, why don't we do this ourselves? So we had, I think it was Sierra, I don't know if she's on here, Tanisha Dunlap, a few others, Monique, Bianca. It was a lot of us, you know, just got together. And so that's when Carrie was like, you know what, let's just do our own, right? Let's just come up with our own, what we're looking for on the outside. Let's do it here. So what we ended up calling was All Christ Cafe. And if y'all been to All Christ Cafe before, that's where the famous, my husband came up with he got the idea from Luther Vandross of the donut burger, okay? And that's what's on our food truck now. That actually arrived or was birthed through the All Christ Cafe, where he tried it out on those. And so we would invite so many different artists and spoken word artists and gospel rap artists and all these different people. We would invite them from all over North Carolina, and they would come in and they would minister, right? And souls were being saved, y'all. The house would be packed. And so it was pretty much creating what we were looking for. So we couldn't find it nowhere else, but somebody just had the idea. Let's do it here in Bisco. And as a result, we have the donut burger that has come out of that. We have, hopefully my husband will fix that. I think it was like a Dorito burger. He had a Cheetos burger, a peanut butter and jelly. Okay, I'm giving all your secrets back, but a peanut butter and jelly burger. So all these things he would just try out on us. And it was an amazing experience. But once again, it was all birthed out of somebody saying, what we can't find everywhere else, let's create it here. Like, why can't we not? Why can't we create something here? Why can't we birth something where we are, right? And so many lives have been impacted from All Christ Cafe. We don't do it anymore. We ended up shifting out of it because God was taking us in a different pathway. But it was a solid foundation where we still have relationships today that were birthed out of All Christ Cafe. Okay. And so I said all of that to say this: there's so much that can be done that we don't have to wait for permission. And we got to teach our children, you don't have to wait for permission. You don't, just start something. Just start it, right? If it looks like it's a failure, it's not a failure. You just know what not to do. So it's not failing. It is trying it out. I'm actually in the process now, y'all, of doing some drop shipping. Now, I don't know if y'all know anything about drop shipping and Shopify, but I've always wanted to do drop shipping to where, what you do is you hook up this website and you hook it up with somebody that's already selling something. And then what you do is you build your own website and you sell those products through that website. And so my website is called Pet Seeds, PETSIES, and selling pet stuff. Now y'all don't even have no pet. As a matter of fact, I don't do dogs, I don't do cats. My family accuses me of killing our gerbil that we had years ago, Wilbert, may he rest in peace. But so I said, okay, what I'm gonna do is people like to buy things with pets, like they like to buy stuff, so let me try this out. Okay. And so it's not a matter of, okay, I'm gonna try it out and oh, woe is me if I fail. No, y'all, it's just trying it out. If it succeeds, it succeeds. If it doesn't, try something else, right? You're like, you don't lose nothing in the process. And so it's a matter of engaging. It's a matter of stepping out there. Okay. If you fail, so what? You just know not to do that again. So open that business. Every business that has started off of somebody saying, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Right. And if I do it, if I fail. But if I don't, guess what? That is generational wealth that's gonna be coming to me and my children's children and so forth. So I'm not going to stay on here long, y'all. I'm about to close this out. But once again, what are we teaching our children? And one of the things that we need to make sure we're teaching our children is the language of not just the W-2, okay, but the 1099, all right? We need to shift that language, okay? It's okay to work for somebody else and get that W-2 at the end of the year. That's okay. We're good with that. But it's time for us to step in and tap into that 1099 vein, okay? And that 1099 is whenever they can contract themselves out. Like you can't tell me, when to show up and when not to show up. So what I'm doing is I'm contracting out my services and I can determine my price, okay? I can determine how much you will pay me because I am a contractor. Right. So we don't have to hold people bondage to the W-2 mindset or work for other people mindset or go get older. And, the first thing you do, go get a job at Walmart or go get a job at McDonald's. I'm not knocking that. I used to work at McDonald's, y'all, while I was in my first year in college, working at McDonald's until I became a CNA. But the mentality of go get a job, y'all, how about go get a business? Right? Can we promote that language to our children? Because we don't want to put them in a position to where they become in bondage to somebody else. And so now they have to say, okay, well, I guess I work for this people, for them forever. But what we're able to do is we can teach them the language of profit and loss. We can teach them the language of business sheets, right? Of break-even points. We can teach them financial literacy, the language that is needed. We can teach them about stocks and bonds. We can teach them about NFTs, right? That's another, y'all look that up, NFTs. But we can teach them all this language. And this ain't something that I learned in school. This is something that I learned at YouTube University, okay? Where you can go and that's how I'm learning about drop shipping is YouTube University. So teach them that everything that they don't have to just learn, just be limited to learning things just in the school system. Because the school system is only teaching them what they want them to know. Y'all, them standards coming up from North Carolina and okay, I ain't knocking the school system, y'all, but for real, y'all, come on now. I can't tell you how many times did I use the quadratic formula in my life. I can't tell you how many times, come on now, that I had to sit and think about, oh, let me see what happened in 1912, right? Like, y'all, that's stuff that you can Google. So what we have to do is we got to shift their mindset, shift their mentality of going after what is your skill? What are your skills? What is it that you like to do? Oh, you like to sit on the game and play all day? Well, you know what? Let's hook up a camera. Let's put you through game live. And what we're going to do is we're going to put you on YouTube where people can just watch you play all day. They like to do that anyway. And then what you can do is you can make $10,000 a month while they watching you live. Oh, see, we ain't speaking that language. Come on now. You can make that $10,000 a month from, come on, y'all. Build your followers, build up whatever's needed. And instead of you sitting around wasting time, let's put that to work. Come on now. You like to draw? Okay, we're gonna take those pictures and we're gonna upload it onto Etsy and sell it as SVGs. And what we'll do is where people are able to buy it off of there and make t-shirts from it. Where people are able to buy your designs and all of that, and then you can go out and whatever tattoo artists are able to use that. Y'all, we got to build that 1099 mentality. We got to build that business entrepreneurship mentality so that we can cause generational wealth to come to our family. Break these cycles, y'all, right? Because the Bible says that we should be able to leave an inheritance to our children's children. Okay. I tell my children, I say, listen, y'all not my children's children. I'm leaving my inheritance for my grandbabies, not for y'all. And I'm gonna put it in a trust fund and y'all better not touch it. They say, well, what about us? Well, you got to talk to your grandparents about that. You better call your nana and your papa, because they're the ones that's supposed to be leaving an inheritance to their children's children. Amen. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to close, but thank you all for joining me on my couch conversation with Sherri Harris Allgood. If you want to converse, I got a special guest next Thursday. She will be on here. It's going to be controversial. It's going to be really controversial. She is a controversial figure in Montgomery County, but she has agreed to be on the show next week because we're gonna have real conversations. All right, I'm getting ready to get out of here, but every Thursday 8:00 p.m. please join in, share, like, and just continue to, y'all go forward, do what you need to do, right, in order to break these cycles. And we will see you all next Thursday. Take care. God bless you.